over the world ang natapos na eleksyon halalan sa Pilipinas for president and for local officials as well. Pero pansamantala po nating iiwanan yan because also malaking news naman para sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Amerika. Yun pa rin pinaghihirapan natin at tinatawag nilang economic strife that we are going through. So, minabuti po namin na every week here on the show for the month of June, we give you these money-saving tips.
Money Matters, giving you tips on saving more, brought to you by MoneyGram International Money Transfer.
Mga kababayan experts po in the field of finance ang mga kinakausap natin dito to give us tips on saving money. Last week, Melody, we talked about, some guests and I talked about do's and don'ts of using credit card. This time, Melody Avesilla, you've met her before. She is with State Farm. Hello and welcome back to Kababayan LA.
Hello, thank you. I'm glad to be back.
And today, she's going to talk to us about saving money. May mga practical tips ba talaga for saving money?
Definitely, yeah.
How can we do that? We have 7 points. Let's start with the first one. Let's take a look at the slide. It says, don't splurge with your tax refund. What do you mean by this, Melody?
What happened last month was last day of filing taxes, right? So by now, a lot of people have received perhaps their tax refund. So hopefully they still have it. If not, hopefully next year they'll be able to do something about it.
What do people usually do with the tax refund?
Splurge for the most part.
Really?
So I think it will be good for our viewers to know that there are ways that they can really, take advantage of that refund. Number one is maybe look at their current debts. And maybe looking at their credit cards. And previous to this, you talked about do's and don'ts of credit card. There are those that really have a lot of interest rate. So if you can do something really to use that money to maybe pay off those debts or kahit papano, make it reduce your debt, that would really help them. And then maybe next to that is looking at contributing to your IRA, your individual retirement account.
Those are the things you can do with your tax refund. Instead of, some people, they go on vacation, some people, they buy something, they plan what to buy, with their tax refund. Okay. Tip number 2, take full advantage of your employer's retirement contributions. You mentioned IRA earlier. This is parang similar, no? Yung 401k.
Yes, very much so. 401k is employer-sponsored retirement plan. So basically, what would be good for our viewers is to check with their human resources and then find out if they have a 401k, and if they do, find out what the employer is matching. So sometimes it's a percentage amount that they match from the salary, or sometimes it's a fixed dollar amount. So if, let's say, the employer is matching around $600, try your best to come up with that $600 as well, because that's pretty much free money added to your retirement.
Para you get the benefit.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, tip number 3, start small and stay steady. Parang you can use that not just in money, but in a lot of
other things, right? So basically, operating word is start. Just do it as they say.
Okay.
Because it sounds so easy, but for the majority, that's the hardest part.
Okay. When you say start small and stay steady, what is this for?
Like, for example, an IRA. You can put maybe like a $50 or $100 automatically deducted, from your account, and that will, amount to something.
It will accumulate, right?
It will accumulate. What you don't see, don't miss. So it would be a good idea to do that.
Okay, tip number 4, pay yourself first. What is this?
That's actually my favorite strategy.
Okay, what is that?
Basically, who gets up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. and goes to the rat race and the hustle and bustle of working, right? It's you. So, however, unfortunately, most of our kababayans, most people, for the most part, would actually pay everyone, their cable, their cell phone.
Okay.
But they neglect to pay the most important person, which would be themselves.
Ano yun? So parang you're suggesting now we allot a certain amount from our salary?
Very much so. So kahit pinch a little bit. If you can, splurge a little bit more, splurge that for yourself.
Okay.
Have a princess fund,
Princess
for
fund
you.
for yourself. Okay. Number 5, create separate pots of savings for upcoming life stages.
Yes. So basically, think of different buckets. So retirement is one. And it's good to be passionate about one bucket, but that doesn't mean that we lose sight of the other buckets. Like, for example, emergency savings.
Okay.
Or maybe for car payments, starting a small business. Those are also, something that you can plan for and strategize.
Okay. So different buckets of savings for specific reasons in your life.
Very much.
All right.
So,
If you have children, find the right education plan.
Yes. For most Filipinos, what is, yun ang inheritance natin, right? Sa ating mga anak. We want to make sure that they go to college.
Right.
And, if we've been reading the news, it's been increasing the cost of education. So, fortunately, there are still a lot of investment vehicles out there that would allow a parent to actually plan for it. So, you don't want to wake up one day and your child is in freshman college and, there's not a whole lot to pay for the tuition.
So when you talk about all this, you talk about IRA, you talk about paying yourself first, you talk about creating specific funds, and you talk about finding the right education plan. There's one thing we need. We need to work with somebody. And the 7th tip has to do with that. Work with someone you know and trust. Can you explain to us?
Yes. Basically, each person is unique, and we want someone that would know us, that would help us identify those needs and help you strategize and give you valuable information.
Right.
Because the truth is, a lot of people think it's truly overwhelming, but if you have someone that will really simplify it for you, then it's not going to be as challenging.
Right. And I can guarantee you, Melody has certainly done that for me. Melody, thank you so much, especially now for simplifying all these tips and sharing your wisdom with us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and more power to you.
Thank you.
Magbabalik pa po ang Kababayan LA. Don't go away.
That's going to leave a mark. Hi, folks. Joe Fowler here. If door dings, scratches, and nicks drive